I don't know who's watching this or who even really cares about this stuff, but it's important for your wallet. So, whether you want to watch this for a long time or not, if you do, you're going to learn how to navigate the process better. But today's video, I really want to, you know, highlight that this book is just going along with, I guess, what's going on in the industry. And I've been trying to find a way to kind of really insert my efforts, because I do think and I do see that consumers or people, customers, are losing their ability to choose where they take their. I think what's going on in the industry right now and is very relevant for the things that I've been doing, right? I've created a book called Navigating the Repair Process, and it's available on all platforms. And the Lulu bookstore, it's always been there, but I'm trying to distribute it across some other platforms. But this is basically a book that helps bring back consumer choice. It helps you know your rights, and it helps you avoid the frustration, the confusion, and it saves you money along the repair process, no matter if it's a mechanical repair or collision repair. But I do highlight mostly collision repair stories to help you guys learn how to better navigate the situation from the scene of the accident, sometimes even before the scene of the accident, if you're well prepared, to actually choosing your car repair shop, and the rentals, the tows, and the whole like picking your car up and what to expect. So everything's in here. I'm not always going to be available to help everybody, but please check it out. New information that's been coming out just in February. They reintroduced a bill called the Repair Act. I think it's Right to Equitable Professional Auto Industry Repairs. So basically that acronym spells out repair, but there's two versions of this same kind of idea, right? And I think there's one version that's called the Safe Act, and then there's another version called the Repair Act, right? And just to talk a little bit about what the Safe Repair Act is. The Safe Repair is more on the side of the OEMs, and they're kind of wanting to keep their intellectual property, but at the same time focus more on customer safety, consumer safety, driver safety, right? And then we have the Repair Act, who favors the independent repair shops and the consumers themselves, right? I think the Safe Repair Act is the special interest pushing that, because in that specific one, they are focusing on safety, but I think it's in disguise, because the independent repair shops are also focused on safety, but they're focused on safety and as a disguise to say they really care about the customer, when really they're hoarding the information and data and making barriers to access the information more difficult. So, and the independent repair shops are crippled by this, right? Because they're unable to subscribe to all the different Mercedes, every Toyota, everybody has a subscription. And for you to get the proper way to go about repairing the cars according to the manufacturer's recommendations, you have to subscribe and pay. So that's, I think, why the Repair Act came out, and the Safe Repair Act seems to be trying to still keep some of the information monopolized, basically. And to be honest, there's another conversation about your data and who gets to capture and control your data, and do you have control over it? And when you think about that one, I think the independent repair shops and the Repair Act is more beneficial for you, right? If you are Stellantis and these big time dealerships, franchised companies and things like that, with secret guys behind it that own it, and you don't know their names, but they're big, right? Those guys want to say, hey, yeah, no, you have to pay for the subscription. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. They don't provide any other way, and they can't fix all the cars, right? But it benefits them if they bottleneck this information flow and pick and choose who they give it to. And this is why it's an issue. So, but I'm not going to say the Safe Repair Act is all bad. Now that these CEOs, their backs are against the walls, they basically have to really figure out how can they contribute something positive to this conversation here, because the people are fed up, basically. They're spending too much money and they have no control of as to who they send their cars to get fixed, right? Like, or anyway, and they can't maybe even do it themselves, because it's way more difficult now to repair cars than it was back in the day. You know, and the whole thing is, the one thing I do agree with them, the CEOs, the big guys, about is that instead of them, you know, focusing on, you know, how they have a lot of differences, they pinpointed one thing that I think I agree with them a lot about, and it's that the insurance companies, so one of the CEOs or executives basically said, that supports the Safe Repair Act, basically said the independent repair shop, so he's trying to speak for us, basically, right? He's not an independent repair shop, but he's trying to speak for us. He's basically trying to say that the complaints that he hears are more along the side that the insurance companies refuse to pay for the manufacturer recommended repairs. And I could talk a lot about that. It's, first of all, it's within the words. Like, you have recommended, so it's up to interpretation. Then the insurance company wants to say, hey, well, you can fix it. But then there are position statements, and the position statement says if this is damaged in an accident, replace it. But then we want to talk about the word recommended. So is that position statement, does that position statement now eliminate the word recommended? All these little nuances and things happen when I sit down in front of an adjuster and we're negotiating, right? And these guys were sitting up there like halting flow of money to the little shops and just halting flow of information. They have no idea exactly the resistance that we get, and it's being trained by the insurance company. So how about you guys go talk to the insurance companies, because they don't seem to be caught up in this Repair Act thing. It seems like it's the OEMs versus the independent shops and the people. And right in the middle is the insurance company, and they're not getting any grief. My mom's calling. Stay tuned. Hey, Mom.